Token one for the team. With Shannon and Sean talking about life and everything in between. The token ones see it differently. Yeah, token one for the team. This is Shannon and Sean keeping things light. The token ones in the group. That's right. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride right now. Right now. And enjoy the ride right now.
You press record now?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
What happened? I can't remember. I was too drunk.
Oh, that was fine. I thought that was going to be me that was too drunk. Yeah, no, well, it's like a season.
A season?
When I met everybody, yeah.
Was it?
Yes. Well, I remember all my gigs.
What was the title of the season? Or the episode?
Run.
Blackout.
Oh.
If you were worried about talking into that mic, Shannon's the worst for it. Shannon, bring that mic towards you and moo.
Sorry.
Oh, gosh.
Sit up better
Aye,
instead of
right.
slouching.
I'll bring this table even closer.
There you go.
Hey! Anyway.
Good job.
We're live, Channel 5. I always liked, American radio show host voice.
Oh, yeah. Or like Davina McCall.
Smooth classics at 7.
See, no, that sounds good on you.
I wonder, should I change my voice? Just rock with that for a little bit.
if you so wish.
Welcome back to Token One for the team. We have Jamie Tait here, the host and owner of Stonehopper? No, Rockhopper. I should know this.
You should know. It's Rockhopper
Welcome back to
Comedy.
Token One for the team episode 17.
Rockhopper
you for
Comedy.
joining.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you so
joining us.
much for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I've never been on a podcast before.
We're popping one's cherry.
We are.
Is that a sexual term? That's a sexual term, isn't
That's
it?
quite sexual, Sean,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
that's fine.
Sorry, Jay.
You meant it in a nice, polite way.
As I always do with most of my compliments. All my compliments is just to be nice. That's what a compliment is.
Yeah, until that backfires on you and you end up getting accosted by prostitutes abroad. As we've
Constantly.
come to learn by Sean, since I've met him, he has been accosted 3 separate times, Jamie.
I just like wandering along the
Yeah,
road.
literally, yeah.
So you either look sketchy or rich, one or both, rich and sketchy.
Rich and sketchy. I've just got an inviting aura about myself. Like, hello, just come talk to me.
They're not talking. That's not their issue.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right, I'm terrible for opening podcasts.
Okay.
Really bad. Shannon
I
keeps
think
me
that
like
was
this.
pretty good actually for you, because
Was
it's
it?
usually half an hour.
Oh,
And then he
We've
goes, welcome back to Token One for the team.
I've done that so many times. Like, aye, the episode started. Shannon's like, how long are we recording? About 30 minutes.
I must say, we've been pretty excited for this episode.
oh, that's very
Yeah,
kind.
On the list of guests for a while.
Oh, that's really
since we decided
kind.
to have guests, really. So we're happy.
Since
to
we were
have
running
her.
out of stories to tell each other on that radio.
Yeah, we're like, who can we get? I was like, Jamie Tait.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's really kind. And I've been following your podcasts since you've been posting them online.
Oh, thanks, man.
Podcasts are kind of a new thing to me because I'm not very focused at listening to things for long periods of time. But then you popped it up on TikTok and your reels on Instagram, and then I was like, oh, I quite like it, the bite-sized visuals.
Easier to digest.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. And my focus is erratic at best, so
That's what makes your comedy so great.
that I'm not focused.
Yeah, because I've seen it is because I've seen you on stage doing bits, and you're like, "Oh, what are you over there? What are you doing over there?" I'm like, "Oh, what was Jimmy
Easily
doing?"
distracted.
Oh, yeah,
Every
perfect.
report card ever, easily distracted.
I think it's all over.
To be fair, that was my report
Yeah.
card as well.
It is.
Can we talk about your comedy though?
Of course, please do.
Can we
Yeah.
It's not
talk
R-rated.
about-
it's not. She was like starting off
Not
a burlesque
all
comedian.
the content. Can we
Nobody
talk-
would pay.
How did you get into comedy, and what made you want to get into comedy to begin with?
So I have 2 stories. Like everything I do, like there's always a bit of a split personality thing going on. I have 2 stories as to why and how I got into comedy. One story which I kept telling everybody always was, oh, I was drunk in our only comedy club in town, and I was giving it all this, and at the end I just demanded the MC let me go on stage drunk. We were on date night with my husband, and he's like,
Yep.
oh my god. And I got up there, chatted a bit of rubbish, lots of gin in me. Folk laughed, and it gave me this false sense of security that I can do this.
Yeah.
Now that's often my story is that was the first time I'd ever been in a comedy club ever. And I basically stormed the stage and demanded that I can do this.
And that is very Jamie Tait-esque.
Well, it is, but it's also not entirely the truth.
Oh, it's not.
It is and it isn't. So that did happen. I did have too much alcohol and threw myself on stage. That's not first. And
Take that, 1997.
It's actually the Darkness tribute band stage. Never mind.
Tribute band. Real thing.
I believe in a thing called comedy. Here we go.
I said to them, I climbed the fence and I said to the bouncer, I said, go and get me a leg up. I'm going on the stage. He's like, all right. I know a quick way. He took me around the back and then turfed me out.
I mean, that's like going to the police and be like, look, I've got a stash of drugs, right?
I'm like, okay. And off I go.
You're like, he'll help me out. It's fine.
You're so kind. What an idiot. And so then I ended up falling asleep on a bench.
Oh, God.
I don't drink now, incidentally. Not really. So back to actually how I started.
Yeah.
I do have a history performing. I did musical theatre for years.
Oh, wow.
With Deeside Music Society out in Aboyne.
Ah, Bouncy's place in Deeside.
And then I also did a show with Attic in Aberdeen. I've done various little sort of bits and safety adverts and adverts.
Safety adverts?
Yeah, you know how you know, like if you work for Maersk, you're not allowed to reverse over cyclists in your car park. Well, I was a dead cyclist.
Oh my gosh.
So I do have a performing background. So I've always, and when I was a kid, me and my friend Sheila, we made umpteen videos that were funny. Me and my cousin Morag had a radio station which had a jingle. You know.
Do you remember the jingle?
I do.
Come on. You cannot bring us up and not give us a jingle.
We were about 10.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you are bored and you're living in sin, just turn on your radio to
Radio Torphins.
Torphins.
Radio
Pretty
Torphins.
good.
That's good.
You're bored living.
We're back. We're back. I'd be so gutted if we lost all that jingle piece. But
you can hear my singing, you know why I didn't sort of continue with musical theatre.
I thought you were good.
I thought it was actually really good as well.
No warming up with the vocals or none of that.
No.
Just needed some
I
hot
didn't
honey
do
and
any-
some jazz hands.
So,
Would have been fine.
me mamumas and all that.
Ooh.
That's how you warm your vocals. No,
Your
it's,
what,
I
sorry?
could warm them for like a month and they would still sound awful. I'm not a singer. I used to, the producer used to say, and I used to say, oh, you know, Nan, that's a producer from Deeside Music Society. I still do it here now, actually.
Nice.
And I used to say to her, but Nan, you know, like, I used to get good roles for someone who couldn't sing. And she's like, dear, what you lack in enthusiasm, no, what you lack in talent, you make up for in enthusiasm.
So we're going to give you the starting role.
Maybe not quite. I was always like I was dancing maid at the front.
Dancing maid.
At the front, though.
You know, yes, because it was just back 20 years earlier, long legs, blonde hair, dancing maid, you know, or
Me
dancing.
and you had so much in common. Enthusiasm.
Blonde hair.
Blonde hair, long legs, dancing
I
maid.
did see your highlights.
Oh, yeah.
I did see your boy band picture of your capped highlights.
Oh, yeah. Cap, honestly, you had to pull your hair through that.
Why? I know. I was a hairdresser.
I know.
Hairdresser for 31 years. I've done many a cap highlight.
She knows a thing or two about
It's
highlights,
amazing
Sean.
we don't do it now, though.
Why is that?
It's brutal.
Yeah, it
And
fucking
it's
hurts.
Yeah, so
Like,
sore.
it was like pulling
You
bit.
have short hair. That wouldn't have been so bad. I used to get my long, permed hair pulled through a cap.
Oh, wait, so you used to get your. So women, that's for women.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh.
for
The
any
first highlights I ever got was in
Yeah.
a cap as well.
But
Oh.
when you talk about cap, you're definitely talking more streaks than highlights.
God, yeah, I thought that was for boys.
No.
I didn't realise
No,
women's.
it's not specific. No.
Oh, right.
It's gender neutral,
Yeah,
Sean.
it's just
Sorry.
it says gender.
I always
Hair's here.
Yeah, hair's here.
Yeah.
That's what we're about
There's
in this
girls
place.
with short hair. I don't mean to alarm you, but there's girls that have short hair.
Of course, actually, yeah.
Sean's like, revelation time.
Mind blown.
He's
Mind
going
is
down the
blown.
street now for these women with short hair.
Yeah, I'm good. It's like a yellow
You
car.
exist.
Yeah, I'll see like a yellow car. You see them all the time. Like, you got short hair. You got short hair.
Short hair, no returns.
You ever thought we get highlights? I'm like, what the hell?
We're going down the road with Amy going like, short hair, no return. She's not going to have a clue. What the
I
I
wasn't-
referenced that. Nobody knew what I was talking about, where you punch people with a yellow
Yeah,
car.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yellow
what
I said if I
yeah.
want to incite violence, I'd buy a yellow car.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, I have no idea what you're talking
Kids are
about.
sitting there holding around. Sorry, we were talking about how you got into comedy.
Yes.
So I do have a performing background.
Yes.
I did musical theatre for years. I also starred in I say starred, in a safety adverts. I've done a few of those. I've done one for Maersk, because Maersk don't allow their employees to run over cyclists, so I was a dead cyclist.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's good. I've been in... me and my children have been in an advert for Bonnecord Centre.
Oh my God.
Bonnecord Centre.
So I've done a few bits and pieces, and so I've always had I've always loved performing, loved it.
Yeah, you're a natural performer. I will say that.
But I don't have time when you've got 2 kids to be 4 or 5 times a week rehearsing a musical or energy. You know, for a long time, when I started comedy, my kids were quite little still, and I was just completely sleep deprived and. The
delirium came across on stage.
It did.
When did you start? What year was that?
20. I just need a wee minute. 2018. I started middle of August 2018.
Because I think you're a year after me. I think it was 2017. I think
could have been.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I was 20 because the comedy club had just opened on King Street, and I had started. I was like, I've never seen a comedy club in my life. What is this place? Not realising comedy's existed for hundreds of years.
So I've been to plenty of comedy nights, but I'd never been in a club until the night I stormed the stage.
Yeah. Axe in hand. No. So did you pre-prepare material?
I did. So I always in my head thought, I think I could do one, like everyone's got a novel in them. Well, I felt like I had a comedy set in me.
Yeah.
And it was the one story that I did about an ex. Because bearing in mind, I've been hairdressing so long, I talk to people all day.
Of course.
I often will tell a funny story. And if they laugh, that's kind of like, dick. Yeah. And I used to always tell this funny story and people used to always laugh, So I remember thinking, gosh, if I ever found myself in the situation I had to do a comedy set or be shot, then I would manage. I would manage, So I always had this story in mind. And then when I did storm a stage drunk and do it, it looked like that was it. Oh, I'm going to give this a bash, which I probably would find so offensive now if people are at my comedy nights and they're drunk going, I could do that. I would be like, how dare you? We work hard at our craft.
Yeah. Sit down, sir.
And I do work hard at my craft.
Yes, totally.
So that was like a taste of it. But I am much more so now, much more. What happened was lockdown and Zoom gigs and the creation of Rockhopper, although I had been doing my own comedy nights before lockdown.
Yeah.
We did some charity fundraisers. I really like to use comedy to raise money. That really, I now realise is my biggest joy.
Okay.
And you're so good at organising those nights.
Yeah, you are.
I love it.
That's the first time I met you. Was at the Maggie's fundraiser.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes, it was. I loved the Maggie's fundraiser.
Yeah, that was
it was so much fun. And I was terrified because sometimes when you mix live comedy with a band, you don't want people sitting there going, I want to be dancing, I don't want to be listening to this woman's nonsense. But I really enjoyed that. I also liked my hair that night. It was lovely.
Your hair was good that night.
I did a set. I just binged all of The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel.
We talked about that.
And I was honestly a pair of gloves short of trying to look like The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel, who I
should have come out.
I did
okay.
order stuff from Amazon. They just didn't arrive.
Husband's at home going,
what is Jamie doing?
Is this for tonight?
Dishes I sort of come away. The best thing that ever happened to me was coming away from performing at the city centre club, which was just not the direction I was wanting to do. It was a different vibe than I was used to. I wish them all the best. However, I realised that I liked organising the events. I liked being in charge. Yeah. There's perhaps unkind people who have sort of said, oh yeah, she only organised her own nights because she wasn't getting booked anywhere.
That's not true.
But the thing is, if that's what they think, it's fine. I don't care. I like what I do. I like what I achieve with comedy.
Money or helping.
Yes, exactly. So in the very early days, pre-lockdown, we did Parkinson's, VSA, Charlie House, and I kind of was like good few thousand just in that year alone. And then lockdown hit and I started dabbling with the Zoom gigs, which I know a lot of people are down on. I love doing the Zoom gigs. I like doing it lots. I thought it was a great way of meeting acts that I wouldn't get a chance to perform with.
Okay,
I don't get the luxury of swanning up and down the country.
Sure, yep.
I work full time. I've got 2 kids. I've got a house and a husband, and I'm now, for some reason, God knows why, joining the PTA, and because I love it. I love helping at the school, and And I'm really good. I don't bring comedy, Jamie, to the school. It's good. Well, I do a little bit. Actually, that's not entirely true. We did a school fundraiser just recently, and I raised £1,000 for the school.
Well done.
Yeah. So, no, that was good. And I did roast the teachers, but one in particular, but he took it really well. He was in the front row. I just roasted him for a solid hour.
What were our children at this thing?
No,
Cool.
no. We had Ray Thompson on.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
There's no children on.
Absolutely
We
not.
actually had about 9 acts on. It was
Oh, did you?
excellent. Yeah, it was
Holy
really
smokes.
good. We did. We had the furthest away were Inverness and Glasgow, and they all donated their time for free. It was amazing.
Oh, that's really good. That's
so
really
we
good.
did. We raised £1,000.
That's really good.
And then so doing the Zoom gigs, I got to meet. I did a couple of courses as well. I did a writing course with you, Bennett Aaron.
Oh
I
my gosh,
did,
yeah.
I did a comedy course with Des McLean and Viv G. So
Viv,
I wouldn't have been able to be in contact with all of these people being in this little kind of isolated corner of Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Whereas all these people, Glasgow and Edinburgh, have so much on their doorstep.
They do, yeah.
We are very limited up here, but there is a lot more nights popping up. And I know that I haven't left the other comedy club perhaps on the best of terms, but I genuinely wish him well.
Yeah.
I absolutely want comedy to thrive in Aberdeen, and I don't care who's running it.
Yeah.
Provided you're not being, like, I don't know, doing illegal things or evil or whatever, sacrificing small children. I don't, just... We all need to be a little bit more supportive in Aberdeen for comedy to really thrive.
Rising tides.
You know?
I say it's quite a lot. Rising
I get on
tides.
great with all other organisers in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be going for a cuppa anytime soon, but I do genuinely wish all the nights well.
Yeah.
And I would hate to see any one of them stop or close.
For sure, yeah.
And I don't think people believe me when I say that.
I do. Yeah, for sure.
What I do is different from what other people do.
Yeah.
We're no threat to each other. There's plenty of room for all of us.
Yeah, everyone can
Never will you see me going round to another hair salon going, excuse me, I cut hair. I don't want you cutting
You
hair.
must shut down immediately.
Yeah, how dare you? Your clients aren't allowed into me and vice versa. No.
No, of course not, yeah.
I had a salon 10 years ago, and
a salon.
A hair salon.
I thought you said I had a son 10 years ago, and I was like,
salon.
you just said
he's
you weren't
11.
sacrificing children for comedy. I was like,
he's 11. I had a salon 10 years ago, and there was another salon on the street, and never once did we like try and get one over each other.
Yeah.
And
It wasn't
I don't
like West
understand
Side
why
Story.
comedy has been like that.
Of hairdressing.
just clicking fingers.
Cutthroat razors and scissors and straighteners. You know, I could totally see that. That could be a new musical. I could do that.
Yeah. Caps. Just beer caps, and we're going to battle. Oh man.
Actually, I know it's another story entirely, but we supported each other. We would lend each other equipment, recommend people to each other.
It should be.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
And if we had that in Aberdeen would be a force to be reckoned with. It really would in comedy.
It's funny that like Scotland comedy. I always liking football. Let me start again. I always liken comedy to football. When it's Scottish comedy, everybody bands together. Scotland's a great place for comedy, blah blah blah. But then when it's no longer Scottish football or the Euros or World Cup, and we go back into our own little nucleuses, we're back to our own little territories, and I think it's so weird. Like, and what I was trying to say was like rising tides lifts all ships. So that if we're all doing well, then everybody else is going to do well.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's like having this podcast and stuff, like having people on, like, okay, it's a small podcast and we're in a small comedy community, but then other people will hear about it.
But
One extra person, I'm a huge lover of comedy, huge advocate of comedy. I didn't start it until I was in my mid-20s.
You infant.
And sometimes in comedy, that's.
So what about like the?
Well, so that's. I'll ask you a question.
What about lady then? You know.
Well, I don't say something. You're great. No, but
Shannon.
But with that, what I'm trying to say is, like, the more people that know about these nights, the better.
Yeah,
because more footfall comes through the door. People who would never get a chance to go and see live comedy.
So since we've started, when I started my original comedy nights, of course it was only Aberdeen acts. Of course it was. And I love Aberdeen acts. I'm very much a champion of Aberdeen acts. We always try to have them on the bill. what I do try to have is a variety on the bill every event
Absolutely.
I do. All acts are different from each other, and all acts are different from the event before. But now I have people contacting me who are quite big names, and who are coming as far as Liverpool and Newcastle, and they're contacting me.
Kyle come up. Kyle's this. Kyle Legacy. I still keep in touch with that guy.
It's funny, isn't it?
Mega funny.
He is a nutter.
Yeah, he's off his rocker. Like,
yes, he is. He's funny though. There's just no filter there.
No, and I love it. That's what I love about Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like he's really smart. He kept saying, I won't do the accent, I loved your squash club game. And he loved it.
But that's
but like, nice he's just,
to see.
if he hears that, he's gonna be like, I do not sound like that. What the hell was that?
I'm like, Kyle, you absolutely sound like that.
No, that's the wrong one. Every accent I do ends up in India. It's terrible.
Exactly the same. I remember trying to do a Welsh accent, and they're like,
I'm good for a couple of sentences, and then they all
it just goes south.
yeah. Way south to India. Yeah.
So, but yeah, like we have really big names, and there's a takeover happening. There's new people taking over the Blue Lamp, but I was approached to run that regularly.
And you'd have been great
because I have good contacts, and I'd like to think I have good contacts because I'm a nice person. I hope so.
Yeah, sure.
But you never know. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay.
But when you were kind of putting Rockhopper together, number one, where did the name come from? So that's really interesting. So
you've seen our logo, beautifully designed by Sean here.
Look, I'm not going to take all that credit.
That was hard work. I'm sorry.
Jamie, I really like you, but you are fucking pissing me off.
I know. You hid it well.
It's her business.
I'm sorry, I didn't. No.
You hid it quite well.
I did take quite. My wife took most of the brunt of that. I was like, what does she want? What does this woman want? But you had a vision. And
I just had a vision.
And you made it come to life.
And she did. And
I've never changed it since.
I know, which is...
I love it.
I was very great with getting all the ideas down. Amy was fantastic at like refining these ideas, getting like pitch perfect to that point. Amy's a perfectionist.
Can I thank Amy? Because I don't even think I thanked. Well, I didn't know because he was my point of call.
Yeah.
That there was a woman doing all the work behind the man.
As always. I got everything down, got all the shapes and stuff, got the design down. And I was like, Amy, I'm struggling with this piece.
The first one though as well. And then I don't know. We did.
No, I didn't.
But for something you're like, and I was like,
It's
but
not
I love it.
quite
So
weird,
Rocky the penguin. I've got a big cutout. I still love my logo. There's not one part of me that doesn't love it, but it's hard work to get exactly what you wanted. And once you did it, that was it. I love it so much.
I think we changed the font. The font actually. We changed that one more time. The back end to it.
I was having a look at the original the other day. I love my logo, and I'm sorry I was hard work.
Nah, I'm only jesting with you.
I'm not really sorry, actually.
No, you shouldn't be, because
she got what you wanted.
But this is it. You, if you've got a vision, and I say this quite a lot, if you don't have the skills to do something, go and employ somebody to do it.
Yeah, I know.
And what I learned out of that, and Amy was fantastic at my She goes, "This is not for you."
It's not, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that's a good point. Actually, this is not for me." She goes, "If they say jump, you just ask how high."
You should have just charged me accordingly, though.
I didn't want to charge you.
You know, but it was a bargain. Like, come on, it was like peanuts.
No,
and if I get rich with comedy, like really rich, I will not forget you. I promise.
She'll give you another 50 quid for the logo.
You get another tenner.
Tenner for that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Taxman.
So the name Rockhopper. So it's quite an odd way it started. I just had it in my head. First of all, I thought of an emperor penguin, and then because I thought I'm going to have a comedy empire, and I got the word wrong.
I can see the symbolism.
I googled empire penguins,
and you're like, why are they not?
There isn't an empire penguin. Oh, look at him, he's cool. So then I saw this funky looking Rockhopper penguin. I wanted a penguin.
Yeah.
Now, Rockhopper penguin, I don't know if you know, they've got funky hair, like at my day job. It's a nod to my day job because they've got funky hair. They look like a bouncer at a comedy club.
I never thought of that.
Rockhopper's penguins are coastal, albeit not coastal of Aberdeen, but Aberdeen too is coastal. Yeah. And penguins are funny.
Nobody doesn't like penguins, just be that way.
It's really, like, and then some boy came up to me in the Adam Lounge when we did a comedy night there. He's like, "Hey man, why you got a puffin onto your logo?" I was like, it's near puffin.
Don't you
oh,
dare.
it is. It's puffin. I was
Don't
like, it's
you
near
dare.
puffin.
Rockhopper penguin.
It's a
I worked hard on that logo, I know.
As I Google, it's not an emperor penguin.
As you're turning around going, is that puffin? Is that puffin? Is that puffin?
Please.
So, but yeah, no, I love my penguin. I love it.
I wonder
Like,
if
I'm so proud of it.
You should be, because it was a good, you know what?
It should be because it took you ages.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And then eventually we post, I'm like, can you make it so I can edit? No, I'm just done here. Like,
Yeah, gosh.
you're a
that's
pain in
right.
my arse.
I think you're not, yeah. I still haven't given it to you. I'll never give you it.
What's that?
The edible version of it.
Oh.
I'll never give it to
It's
you.
probably just as well.
Yeah.
Don't let me fuck up.
Again, you're an interficker. Because I know you, because you're a
know.
perfectionist. Because
I know.
Jamie will go in like, shit, this has moved.
I know. So like many a comedy act, I have Canva.
And by the way, your posters were fantastic.
It's just like it's Canva, but
Yeah.
I change a lot. It's nothing like what I start with. I go for templates.
Yeah.
And I change the colour, I change the fonts, I do this, I do that. I just don't, I try and avoid in fact, I made a poster for Stonehaven gig recently, our first gig at Stonehaven.
Yeah.
And I went right off away from the kind of normal comedy one you see on Facebook or wherever.
mhm.
And it was green and it was cocktails. It was so over the top because it was quite flamboyant. I just went a bit nuts on it. And then I gave the poster and then I came back and they had decided to make their own one on Canva with the red velvet curtain and the mic in the middle, and I was like, but everybody has that poster.
You're like, I did something different.
I know. And then I thought, oh, people maybe don't want different. Maybe they're not ready for
You're not ready for your change.
my way out there poster. I thought it was terrible, actually. I'm not a graphic designer, but I have a creative, busy head.
You have a very creative, busy head.
I'm just not techie. Like if I could paint it or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Colour by numbers.
Well, that's how I did. When it came to the logo, I sketched everything out.
Oh, did you?
I did it freehand and then put everything on. I just scanned it in my computer and then went over the lines again and refined the lines
Yeah.
and then came up with a template for it.
I do love it.
Sounds so simple,
I
but yeah, if I were to do
genuinely
that,
love
it'd be like
it, yeah.
stick figures are us.
Mm.
My
Like a little stick figure penguin.
my poor 3-foot penguin that got me, it's so expensive as well. See, getting things made is so expensive.
I remember seeing that. I was like,
yeah,
holy shit,
and
Jimmy.
my kids love it, and they walk around with it. Well, the poor thing's looking a little bit worse for wear
Is
now.
it?
It's still a bit of squash club, so
Oh, yeah.
I'll use it for my next gig. But then I think we need to retire that, Rocky.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe get a fresh
Just give
one.
it to your kids just to
I know
have
they love it. They
Yeah.
just love it. So
memorabilia
I know
of Mama's business.
Ma's business.
one of many.
Yeah.
So
Do you still own a salon?
I do kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah, well, I do have a hair salon. It's in my garden now, though.
Oh, it's in your garden?
Yeah, I did
gosh.
have a multi-award-winning hair salon in the middle of Aberdeen. By multi, I mean 2.
That's still-
Which is still multiple of 1.
Yeah.
And I had a salon in the middle of town, and unfortunately, I had a terrible accountant. And I was terrible. I too was a terrible accountant.
I was gonna say-
Hence why I was paying an accountant.
Oh gosh.
And due to their oversights and some of mine, I went under.
Oh.
So I had to
stole-
shut everything
I
down, made
stole all the
5
money.
people unemployed.
Oh gosh.
Had to give the government obscene amounts of money, 50 grand. And so, so you can laugh, we laugh about it now. No, I don't. I do not laugh about it at all.
No.
So I think,
Did you have to get back the awards?
No, they're still, I still
Still
own
got
those
them,
awards.
yeah.
All right, cool.
And they're on my little glass cabinet in my salon in my garage.
Beautiful.
I mean, everybody strives to work in their garage. But it does work around the kids, I'm not going to lie.
yeah.
I was going to say, like,
It's lovely. It doesn't look like a garage.
no.
No, it looked like a proper salon.
It does
I
look like a
imagine,
proper
It's a
salon.
garage.
It's a garage. A salon
salon.
garage.
It's a salon garage.
I do put my posters up for Rockhopper in there.
It's pretty cool.
Dual tasking. I did all my Zoom gigs in there in
Did you?
lockdown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you juggle like your personal life? Like, I know obviously I have you on Facebook. I know you're a busy hairdresser, so how do you manage to kind of juggle that part of your life versus proper?
Always at some point something has to give.
Yeah.
And I made it known probably last autumn that I was taking a step back and cutting down the comedy world because my personal life and other things needed a lot more of my attention. I'd dropped the ball everywhere else. So now I've kind of
You were doing a lot of comedy gigs. You were doing a lot.
I hadn't noticed how many.
Yeah.
do you know what? I could have really run with it. I could have done really well.
Yeah.
But it would have been at sacrifice of a lot of other things in my life.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared to do that.
Yeah.
I love comedy, but I love my family more.
Yeah. You can't have anything. You can't have everything.
But I think I kind of forgot.
Yeah.
I lost my way because I was getting sucked into it all.
Yeah.
But oh my God, you're so good. You're this, you're that. I was getting bookings. I was getting bookings all over the place.
Yeah.
And I just had to pull the plug for a while.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens sometimes.
For sure.
But I remember speaking, I think it was to Des McLean when I was doing the Zoom gigs and I did his course. And a couple of times I sort of made the comment that I'm too old for this, or, and he's like, wait, stop. And he listed amazing people who I aspire to be like, like female acts who are older than I am, who are smashing it. And he's like, they started at this age, or they didn't become really big or headlining this, club until they were that age.
Yeah.
It's like there's not an expiry date on funny.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
but
absolutely not.
I think often,
You forget.
as a female particularly, we feel like we have an expiry date more so than a man.
Or you're on a time scale.
Yeah.
Because there's like a certain amount of have to have pressure to have kids by a certain age. 'Cause
Yeah.
you've got a clock for that.
It just
then
seems
it's like a
so
clock for
mother's
everything.
load. There seems a lot of pressure. And friends of mine are like, well, instead of doing comedy gigs, why don't you, do it on TikTok and stuff like that? And it's not really what I'm about. I like, do you know what I love? I love making actual people laugh.
Yeah.
I'm a massive people pleaser, what can I say? But I love making people feel good about themselves when it comes to their hair. And I love making people sit in an audience, forget their troubles for an evening, laugh their heart out, relate to some of the stuff I say, maybe not, have a really good evening, and just forget about the nonsense of life for a little while.
Yeah.
I love
you maybe
that.
can't do that as much, despite loving like the Zoom gigs and things.
I
you can't do that as much over a TikTok. Even in the comment section, sure, but there's probably nothing quite as doing like you do
It's
in person.
so you can type a joke, you can perform it on TikTok, or you can perform it in person, and they'll have 3 massively different reactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not saying I would get cancelled, but there'll be things that if you were to take it out of context and write it down, it's like, did you just say that? That's ridiculous. And I've got children. I don't really need to be filmed or quoted saying some of the jokes I say, like venting like you do as a mum.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it is what it is. It's just, I for me, the Zoom was amazing for contacts and meeting people I would never have met otherwise.
Yeah.
You're so well, you got a great network of people. I always thought
I do. But these people are great people. I can't take all the credit, I don't feel. I've always been a people person. I'm so lucky. When I started comedy, I thought it was a really toxic environment and it was quite damaging's too hard. It wasn't ideal, but I wasn't probably in my best headspace when I started comedy, and that was just a coincidence.
Sure. None of us were.
No.
That's why you got on. That's why everybody got into comedy, because you're like, well, right, this is going to go one or two ways. Either I'm going to cry about it or I'm going to laugh about it.
I think I got, like, the comedy seemed to... I wasn't dealing with things very well with the collapse of the salon. I had quite bad postnatal depression.
Was that all at the same time?
It's all together, yeah. My son was one when we closed the doors of the salon.
Jeez.
He was 6 months old when I found out it was happening.
Oh my gosh,
it's fine.
Jamie,
It's not for me. I'm not for me, but I can
No, totally,
see.
but you can understand
I can
the
see this
projection.
kind of like avalanche of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And then comedy, like other perhaps drugs at that stage, I was a little bit addicted to the sort of escapism and the adrenaline rush and the cortisol that's in, and I found myself on this weird roller coaster of highs and lows, and unfortunately I was never a very good drinker, and I had issues of binge drinking, and all of these things kind of fed into this negative comedy world.
Yeah.
But it was coincidental, as all these things were happening.
Some would say you're a fantastic drinker.
I never know why you can't binge drink and then clean your house, or can't binge drink and then, go for a marathon run. Why is it always rubbish stuff that we do?
Yeah, exactly.
That's so true.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I don't binge drink. I think I've got a good balance.
I drink all the time.
Tea. I drink a lot of tea.
So Shannon had messaged me, she was like, what does Jay want to drink? And I was like, 75cl bottle of vodka. She was like, why is it?
I haven't done vodka since the 90s.
She goes, why is it? Because it looks like there's water she's drinking.
Yeah, so it looks like it.
Yeah.
Like I have not done vodka since she mixed it with Angostura bitters and lime and made
they
it
still
a
have that.
vodka.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to get it past my gag reflex, if I'm brutally honest. I mean, I have great stories from being drunk, but I am genuinely glad I've tackled that now. And it's been over 2 years, and I have not been. I've not been very drunk since.
You've been boozy.
Merry, but not
But
remotely.
Mary's a nice place to be.
Mary's fine, but even now, I'm a 2-drink wonder.
Oh, you 2 drink? I was going to say 3. I'm a 3 beer man. There's nothing better than that 3
Three's
beer.
my absolute threshold.
Me too.
The
And
3 beer
it would be
buzz.
3 or 30. There's nothing in the middle, so it has to just be
3
or
so I cut 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not 2.
Are
But
you
yeah.
9 o'clock pints?
No,
Going
I
on
don't drink.
holiday?
I don't drink at
No,
home.
not at home. Not going to take the kids to
Oh,
school.
you mean 9 a.m.?
Yeah, Sean's asking because on the
No, I
last
actually
episode,
don't even drink every day on an all-inclusive, and I will not drink
But
until
it's
supper
practically
time.
free.
But do you know what's coffee's expensive? It's free. Iced coffees,
Ice coffee.
sparkling water. I'm I used to only drink water, coffee, or alcohol. So I was either drunk, buzzing, or hydrated. But now I've kind of
You found
I've
a balance.
introduced some other drinks in there. You know, I've got like
Fruit
a Diet Coke now and then.
Diet Coke. Oh
A
my
wee Capri
gosh.
Sun. I'm only joking. I don't have a Capri Sun.
No.
Wee fruit shoot.
That's actually exactly where I am in my life right now. I'm either hydrated, I'm caffeinated, or I'm being, boozing.
Boozing. What's your drink of choice?
It's an alcohol?
Yeah.
I'm a tequila man.
Ugh. The only time I drank tequila in Canada, I was in the back of a police car by choice.
Okay.
By choice.
I was like, what's that story?
You can tell it's Canada and not America.
Yeah.
And I was like, just dying to go. I was 19 and I was like, oh my God, let me see your guns. Like an absolute moron. And they were like,
Guy standing there
hey,
flexing.
ma'am, yeah, we have guns, yeah. You know, and he's like, have you ever heard of a truncheon? That's what we've got. Flipping no.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How long was you in Canada for?
Jamie Tait goes
Well,
international. Yeah.
I'm actually Canadian. I was born in Canada.
What?
I lived there till I was 8. Yeah, my dad stayed there.
Yeah.
And he remarried, and my mum and my brother and I came back to Torphins in 1985
1985.
when I was nearly 8. Yeah.
Wow. So wait,
So is your dad then Canadian?
No,
Or
my
they're Scottish
parents
and they
moved
moved over.
over for
Got you.
work. Yeah, but my dad he married a Canadian lady, and we're still close. And
yeah.
she has family there. But yeah, no, yeah, I quite. It's like, it's not, when I say Canada, people think, oh, lovely, mountains.
Or like,
Moose.
Toronto, yeah.
No, it's like the town that kind of borders over a lake from Detroit, and it's called London, Ontario.
Yeah, I
and
know
it's
you are.
number
Yeah.
1 for serial killers in Canada.
Serial killers.
It's all flat. It's all strip bars, and the only thriving industry they have is drive-through beer stores, because you can't get your beer at a supermarket. Drive-through
You'd
coffee
love that,
shops
Sean.
and strip bars. It's ridiculous.
Yo ho, yo ho.
You're like going home to Amy going, let's go move.
Nice.
Drive through
So-
beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I actually heard recently, and I was really upset to start with, but it is what it is. Through the grapevine, that a comedian I'd never met had called. Apparently, I'm known somewhere in England as the Northern Bimbo, which was lovely because Bimbo implies that like I make an effort with my appearance.
Fuck yeah.
Which
Stick
I-
that in a t-shirt.
You're
And
like,
Northern
you
was
wanted me to take
actually
this negatively.
Canadian, you know, so-
Fuck yeah.
You're like, you wanted me to take this negatively. Have you
know.
seen the Barbie film? This is
I know.
fantastic for me.
And also, it reminded me of that quote that Dolly Parton did. What do you think when people call you a dumb blonde? Well, I know I'm not dumb, and I know I'm not blonde. It's the same kind of thing,
Fuck
you know.
yeah.
To be fair, she's a genius.
Yeah, I
Like,
love
yeah,
Dolly.
me
She's like
too.
I've seen Dolly. Like I love
wow.
Dolly. I love Dolly.
Conspiracy theory. I don't know if this is true.
Mhm.
The reason she wears long sleeves is
Cats.
cats.
I
Is that-
believe that's true.
Is it?
I watched
But I
this
don't.
cheerleading show on Netflix.
Wouldn't be surprised.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh,
and she
yes.
came dressed in their costume.
I saw. She was
It's
amazing.
unreal, but she did have long sleeves on
But
as
people
well.
moaning on Facebook about her. Like she looked fantastic. fantastic.
I'd love to
Here
see.
you come for Dolly.
I love Dolly.
I'd love to see Dolly's
I like
tats.
Miley as well. You know, it's her goddaughter. I mean, my daughter loved Miley.
I'm a huge, not as big as the guy who got all that tattoos on Miley Cyrus in his arms.
Creepy,
Yeah, that's a long time ago in that British documentary. But I was listening to Jolene in the car on the way here. And I was like, Jolene.
Her vocals are amazing.
What a mint!
Yeah.
She also does a rendition of "Nothing Else Matters" by Metallica. What about it?
Yeah, you put me on to that.
I did.
I have to have a look. And
Oh,
I didn't even know the song.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know until you showed me it. Yeah.
I was like, something
Nothing
else.
compares. Fantastic.
but it's a Metallica song originally, but she does the cover of it. Oh, what a song! Also, I'm in the covers right now. Is T-Pain? Ever T-Pain?
Listen, Sean is the biggest T-Pain fan.
I have no idea what T-Pain
He has a
is.
song called "I'm in Love with the Stripper."
Oh.
But he's got
But he's got a good insane vocals.
what a
Yeah, that's
voice.
true. He was on
Who
The
is it?
Masked
Who is
Singer.
it?
He's an American.
Oh, okay.
He's an American like R&B singer. He's
I will give it a Google.
Yeah, give it a little go, but it won't be your Dolly Parton or
No,
Miley
but
Cyrus.
that's okay. I have a very varied
Yeah.
mix of music. The only thing I don't like is thrashy metal. I don't
Like the
understand that.
screamo.
Just where people are like, you know,
Yeah, I
what's
don't
that
get
about?
it. I don't get
Just
it.
a flipping racket, man.
If your kids got into that kind of music, would you like encourage them, or would you be like turn that off?
I would be like, Mummy's bought you new earphones.
Yeah.
You know?
Noise cancelling.
Yeah.
What music did you go? What's like so? If you're sitting at Torphins, it's 1985, summer of 1986. Say,
Okay. What was I into?
what were you into?
The most gorgeous man on the planet, Marty Pallo in Wet, Wet, Wet.
Ooh-cha
I had the
boy.
whole of my bedroom completely decked out in pictures of Marty Pallo. I saw him recently. Oh, honestly, boy, still got it.
Still going.
Oh, he does.
Does he?
Oh my god. I like, honestly, if 10-year-old me could have saw me now, I was convinced I was going to marry him. I was like working out as soon as I could be 16 to get married. How old he would
Jesus.
You were at the concert recently with your husband being like, could still marry.
be. Well, I was with my friend who
Okay,
also
good.
was a big Marty Fellow fan, you know. But yeah, he was just so gorgeous. I couldn't believe it. And I loved, everything was huge in Glasgow. And that, like, I had this love for Glasgow from a very young age, the comedy. So at the same time, I grew up watching, and I'm far too young to be watching Naked Video, Rabsy Nesbitt, listening to Marty Pello.
Yeah.
We all took a guide trip down to the Glasgow Garden Festival in 1988. Glasgow Smiles Better.
Oh my
And I love it, and I do love Glasgow.
Yeah.
And I have gigged in Glasgow, and I've got a lot of Glasgow contacts. And I like it
It's a
started
fun
being young.
place.
So I went from being really Canadian, being launched into Torphins, which was like a fish out of water,
Yeah.
to suddenly being obsessed with all things Glaswegian.
I think-
It was so random.
I think there's probably like an element of escapism there as well. Like if you feel you're in
Well,
Glasgow,
it seemed such
do you
a
know what I mean?
big fancy
It does,
city
yeah.
at the time, you know.
Compared to like Torphins.
It was such a shock moving to Torphins. Everything was brown, like curtains, carpets.
completely recall that period.
Oh yeah, I do. I've got an incredibly good long-term
Yeah.
memory, shocking short-term one. I do recall everything from growing up. I remember saying to my mum, I remember I sat in the back of the moving vehicle on the little stool when we moved to that house in Canada. And she went, "No, you don't." I went, "No, I really do." And I listed a few things. She went, "I don't know how that's possible. You were
She was
two."
like, yes, you do remember.
You're
were
2
two.
years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
I know. Like, I'm
Do
really
you-
just good at recalling long-term things.
Fuck, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's
I didn't
just.
take drugs. Never
Yeah.
took drugs in my youth.
Oh really?
That's why.
That's
yeah.
what, you.
I've never fried my brain.
But in my late 30s.
But hey,
No, I
still
feel-
remember when she's 2, so she's fine.
These are my happier memories.
I should be taking them.
Yeah, totally.
You know, if
Do you remember being excited to move over to Scotland, or was there like a?
Well,
like,
we
fear
didn't
that
Dude, our
move.
parents just got divorced.
Yeah, we did it. We moved under quite traumatizing
Yeah.
circumstances.
She remembers it.
It was nothing I can list right now,
Yeah.
but it wasn't happy reasons we moved
Yeah, of
home.
course, yeah.
So, but you know what? I just didn't really give it a thought. I was a very
Tenacious.
no, I
No.
was just a quiet, believe it or not, people-pleasing child who didn't really express my voice till I was much, much older.
Okay.
The opposite of my kids, because it's very much safe space. They can very much express themselves. I've got my daughter's very keen on comedy and performing.
Oh, yeah?
and- oh, she's
amazing.
so funny.
How'd you do?
She's 8. She's 9 next month. She's hysterical. Like,
Kids are so annoying.
Next
They're so
podcast guest.
funny.
And then my son's funny as well, but he's just got this really dry,
Right.
sarcastic humor.
Nice.
It's so scathing. But no, like, so I think I was a fish out of water, and kids aren't always kind. I was the only child with a foreign accent in Torphins primary. Nobody was more prejudiced than the head teacher. And if you will not speak in my classroom till you learn to speak Scottish. That's why I'm so good at accents.
What the hell?
I know you can get away with that
Was he
nowadays.
Indian, was he?
don't you? Yeah.
You are not speaking my class.
And you're like, actually, I'm not going to speak Gaelic, so please
Yeah,
correct someone else's.
yeah. Right up until I was about 25, I still used to drive past him and go,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would as well. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, underneath your door, like,
Yeah. No, just so you
oh,
can
straight to
see.
his face.
Yeah.
Still not speaking Scottish. by the way.
Scarred. So like, but what I did, so when I had thick skin though, like, so if folk would be like, I had divorced parents, nobody else in the village had,
Mm.
I had a foreign accent. So I was a target a little
Yeah, of
bit,
course.
but I'm really quick-witted and I'm quick with a comeback. And do you know what? They get bored very quickly.
And they just kind
Yeah.
of die out, yeah.
You know,
Are
obviously.
you an only child?
No, I have an older brother, but he's 8 years older. So he
Ah.
was left school working when we moved back. He was 16. They wouldn't allow him into the education system. They knew.
What?
No, I love my brother.
Jeez. And he moved to Torphins with you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
He did. He was much older, so
Yeah. So why do you have family in
my
Torphins?
mum had her family there. So I still have a lot of family in Torphins.
Yeah.
And we have done a few Rockhopper comedy gigs in the Learny Arms Indian,
Yep.
which the Learny Arms was the pub that I grew up in and
Mhm.
drank underage in. And as we all did, and all family members worked there at one point or other. And we did it. We've done 2 quite successful comedy nights.
Mhm.
And we plan to do a third. So
Yes.
it's an unusual venue to do a.
It's a curry
comedy.
house now.
It is excellent. It's the best
Is it?
curry house.
It's up
And
there.
I've tried all of them. And the Learny Arms Indian, here's a free plug for you. It's the best place to get a butter chicken in
Butter
the
chicken.
whole of Northeast of
You
Scotland.
have put that kind of like on the...
I can't help it.
The,
I keep saying it.
The Rockhopper kind of post about the food.
Everyone
yeah.
needs to know that.
Yeah,
I'm
there
such
you
a
go, shout
foodie.
out.
I'm a fussy foodie that I get so
Mm.
disappointed if it doesn't quite reach standards, you know?
All right.
So what is
Yeah.
your favourite food if you're a massive
I don't
foodie?
have a favourite. To be ridiculous, like saying,
Yeah.
do you have a favourite child?
No.
I switch
Jamie.
whichever one's not pissing me off the most
Yeah,
of the
Jamie.
time. The kids do ask me that a lot. I get it. They both argue that they're the favourite, so I feel I've
Okay.
done my job well.
Perfect.
But when they do
Let them
both
both
come
think
at
it.
me at the same time asking me who my favourite child is, I usually say I like that kid that played Matilda in the first movie. But they don't like that. But yeah, favourite food? No, I just like eating, unfortunately. I wish I liked other hobbies better, but I love eating.
Yeah.
Love food. I like cooking as
That's
well.
pretty good hobby to have.
I love cooking.
Bread.
So if you were
Favourite
to have...
bread?
Favourite bread?
Come on.
Oh God, I do like a rosemary focaccia with the oil and the vinegar.
There you go, boost Sean's
Oh,
one.
I love a focaccia.
I love a focaccia.
People will argue that focaccia is not a bread. Look.
Good.
Yeah.
Focaccia's a bread. It's
I
got
know,
fucking
because it's not
yeast
to-
and flour in it.
I bet it's not traditionally made how normal bread is made.
It
I-
identifies as a loaf.
That's what I said.
You know?
That's what I said. I asked them. Yeah, but I love a focaccia.
With like chunky sea salt,
Sea salt through it, some rosemary through it, you got balsamic, you got your oil
olive
there.
oil, extra virgin olive
Extra,
oil.
yeah,
The
yeah.
first time I had that was weirdly in Mexico. We were in this posh Italian restaurant in Mexico.
Authentic.
I know,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like they came out and it was a lot of sort of like fanciness, and they were like
Nice.
unwrapping it, and it was warm in a tea towel.
Ooh, oh.
And they came out, and we had never seen this. This was years ago, 90s. It was still the 90s, and I was there with a really rock ex-boyfriend.
Beautiful.
So they're pouring it. We're like, it's like, so they could tell we were a bit like, we don't know what we're doing here. Oh, I got any butter? No. And so they showed us, and it was just heavenly. Amazing.
I could smash a loaf of focaccia.
Oh no, bro! And a tiger loaf with,
Oh, I love a good tiger
with
loaf.
Yeah,
proper
sorry, I said
butter,
that.
Kerry Golden tiger loaf.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to have...
Carbs, man, I love carbs.
That's the problem.
It's just the
carbs.
problem because I don't love exercising the carbs off enough.
No,
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm with you.
That's the problem.
I hear you. Is it?
Yeah. Just eat. You don't exercise.
I do exercise, but just not enough. I'd have to be like a marathon runner for the amount of carbs I'm eating just now.
Christmas time is good for the carbs.
Hormones,
Turkish-
man.
Turnips.
Pardon?
What do you say?
Hormones.
Oh, hormones. I thought you said.
Hormones, man.
I hate hormones. I thought turnips. I was like,
I know I've got Torphins, but you know that was really racist.
That was really.
If you want turnips, if you want that as your rider, no problem. We'll get you a turnip.
That's like you're just assuming because I'm from the country.
You're literally like you say you've been painted as a bimbo, now you're trying to paint you as a country bumpkin.
You chuked turnip bimbo.
Northern chuked bimbo.
You just add into it every time.
And your emblem.
That's generally how I tell a story anyway. It just gets added more things to it until it's like massive.
Hey, you can see your emblem as a turnip, northern bimbo.
Well, away from the penguin into a turnip.
I've got cool design. I'll make your next poster.
Leave my penguin.
Yeah.
Maybe get him holding
a turnip.
A neepman.
And a tattooed across his chest, northern bimbo.
Northern bimbo. I'm going to do my next show. Not bad for a northern bimbo.
Oh,
yeah, that actually is a really good title.
I'm like, not because of course I let stuff go, don't I? You know?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I like to hold grudges like little pets.
Oh, yeah.
It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
More resentful.
Just feeding it a cat shit.
Come on,
like
until you eventually
monkeys.
explode.
Yeah.
If you were so you're a foodie. If you were to host a dinner party, who's invited, dead or alive? And what are you cooking? What's your 3-course meal?
I can tell she'll be wet, that one.
Well, yeah, Marty Pello.
He's lovely, isn't he? So I used to. He's lovely, isn't he?
That's going to be the soundbite for this podcast. He is lovely, isn't he?
I was wet.
Not at my age. So sorry, you put me off. Right. My dinner party.
Yes.
So I used to have this down to a fine art.
Okay.
And this sounds like you've told me this question already and it hasn't. Because I used to always want, and this is not lying, and this is years and years ago, way before the comedy career started, Lenny Henry and Don French. I always wanted those at my table.
Yeah.
They were always dinner party. I think they'd be up for eating proper food and not picking about. Sure. And that's not a mean size thing. I just wouldn't want somebody pushing
waste.
food around. I hate food waste. And I think as well, they would be great entertainment, the pair of them as well.
Sure.
I always used to say that's how I would want my dinner party. And I do love Dawn French. I think she's excellent. I think everything she does is so good.
What comedian?
And again, I loved sketches. So French and Saunders, Hale and Pace.
Yeah, iconic.
I love sketches, and I'd like to get into sketch comedy. In my little head, it goes around, and like I've got some great ideas, and then I mentally cast my friends like Stuart and everybody.
You've cast Stuart
before as well.
Like I probably write little roles in my head. I'm blow drying here at work, and I'm sure my clients are chatting away to me, and I've got these little comedy thought bubbles of things in my brain. So definitely would have had them. Now I know he gets a lot of grief, but I love Jamie Oliver. He just gets so much grief. I feel like apparently I'm on a hairdresser's forum, and a hairdresser who did his highlights probably through a cap back in the 90s said he was really rude to the staff, and that was the only thing lately I've heard that I've gone, oh my heart, that's just ruined it for me, you know. So who else would I have at my table? There's so many people. I've got so many. Everybody's welcome. Feed the world.
Yeah.
But I used to always say French and Saunders if I had to pick.
Dawn French.
And Lenny Henry.
Lenny Henry.
I saw her in Dublin a few years ago, but I'd worked a night shift. It was like back when I was working part-time and studying, and then I'd gone to flow to Dublin, so I was like exhausted because I'd been up the whole time, and I went with my brother, and he's a big Dawn French fan, and I fell asleep during her show. Not because it was boring or anything.
You were tired.
I'd just done it,
I know.
And my brother was like, wake up, and I actually woke up. And at like the most awkward moment, and I was like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" And she was discussing like her dad's suicide. And it was like a big clock, and my brother was like,
"Oh my,
why have you woken up at this time?"
Yeah, why now? So I had tickets for her in October, but then decided to go on holiday and gave them to my friend, and it was memoirs of Dawn French. I think it was something of Confessions of a Twat, which I thought was great. Great name. But yeah, I just have so much. There's so many people I'd want to sit round a table and chat about things I'm into. I mean, I'd have Richard Ashcroft in a wee acoustic set in the corner because I love him. I love his voice. There's lots. Like I could also go down this sort of like, sentimental. I always think my granny and granddad would be quite tickled with the fact that I do comedy now. Yeah. My granny had a really dirty sense of humour.
Did she?
She's amazing. And she had this laugh that you were just like, oh my gosh,
infectious.
No, it was just It was like
Just like
it was like
dirty Latin,
Muttley.
Mully.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's brilliant. And my mum she's the complete opposite of that I am. I mean, she doesn't use 500 words when she doesn't need to. She's an academic with a degree, and she's a teacher, and she's quiet. She doesn't like being the centre of attention. But my mum is super supportive of my comedy career, and I have made some of my naughtiest jokes in front of my mother, who is a wee bit prudish. Like, well, she's not that she's prudish, she's probably normal, and it's me that's the problem. But and I have taken the breath and gone,
sorry, Mum.
You know, I made a joke about, I don't know, I'm not even going to say it just now, but, you know.
But how does she handle that? She just kind of laughs it off and she's like, that's Jamie. Yeah.
Well,
That's Jamie's comedy.
So originally when I started, I think she was concerned, and I posted a video where I did a really naughty joke online, and she wasn't a fan of it.
Okay.
But it's out of context. You may be watching it. You're maybe watching it, having your lunch and your break at your school or whatever. That's why I don't post material online. I like it to be live in the moment.
Yep.
And now she says, I think she looks around, she sees that people are enjoying it. Nobody's taking it too seriously, as a rule. And she laughs along with everyone else. But no, she's a really good, she's a support, she does hide her face sometimes. And there was a joke involving, what was the joke in specific? Oh, it is so, like, I took a breath and I looked her bang in the eyes and said it. Like, I'm like a naughty child up there, you know? And she was like that.
Fucking hell, take 25.
Yeah.
This
is the most we've ever had.
I need a new laptop. Okay.
It's me.
It's me.
Hi.
I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It's me and technology. It's never a good mix.
That's never happened, mate.
I promise you, it's genuinely never happened.
Me. I don't know if I've got some weird frequency that I give up off.
Well, I like your frequency, Jamie.
We're on the right frequency. You just have to bear with us. We're going to go home to your kids and be like, you know how it said it was cool to go on a podcast? Well, I had to do 20 million different takes because their laptop wasn't performing.
So your mum's at your gigs. You're doing a lot of these jokes to her. Have you ever done jokes?
My mum said I'm naughty but nice. So she
that's
does
a good
say,
wording,
Jesus, this jacket's getting fuller and fuller.
My mum did say naughty but nice. So I feel like my mum, who's quite straight-laced, can laugh at my jokes and isn't terribly offended because I am her daughter. But the thing is, she's also used to me, you know. But
that's true.
There will be times that she'll give me the...
And you know, pushed the envelope a bit too much.
My dad was very funny, and my dad sadly died of Parkinson's. But near that end bit there, he'd be like, Jamie, I'll make you a drink, but it'll be shaken and not stirred. And and so that's how we cope in our life with them.
You laugh through the trauma.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And I never understood it as much as like you laugh about it, you cry about it, and as you're getting older, you're like, oh wait, do you have a choice here? I
do a bit of everything, to be honest. Like
I've done that all on stage at once.
I'm sure I do. But I think as well as I do, I had an uncle who always said, oh Jamie, I used to say, God, why do I cry so easily? Because I'm a frustrated crier.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I don't cry because I'm sad, I cry because I'm frustrated, which is bad because I'm frustrated a lot. I'm frustrated I can't punch the people that are annoying me, and so I cry.
Jeez.
And they just think I'm soft. But my uncle said, you know, you cry easy, but you laugh easy too. So I think there's nothing wrong with showing your emotions.
Yeah, and I will say there's something about how you work a crowd that your mum must sit there and go, that's amazing.
She says that's her favourite part.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she doesn't want to hear the joke about my...
so you're going, which one am I telling?
Maybe she doesn't want to hear some of my material, which could be a little bit naughty, she would say. Yeah. But she says you're so quick when you...
Completely. I remember the last gig that I did with you at the Newton Hill Arms.
I love that night.
How you kind of had the audience just in the absolute palm of your hand. And how you
I'm good with a rowdy crowd, I must admit.
And
I don't know why.
It was super rowdy. There's people in the rugby that there was that one girl in the front that was totally drinking, and she sounded like Woody the Woodpecker.
I couldn't even help. I offered to batter her, which was so funny because she would have just... I'm a woos. She would have killed me. But
I will say she would have absolutely not.
She seemed to think that was funny.
Yeah, and then the kind of the boys that were in line watching football as well, and the young Harry Potter. Yeah, like it was. There is something to be said about how you work a crowd.
Yeah, I think, and that's probably why I've enjoyed helping at the school. And because I am the mum that's in your twos, off the wall,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm
Get
really,
organised.
I'm really sort of, I'm not bossy. I don't know. I'm good with a noisy crowd.
Yeah.
I was at a gig recently. It was an open mic. And I arrived and I kind of watched through the crack of the door, not to interrupt and come in. So I was waiting till there was a bit of a gap to come in because I was later. And there was a group of men who worked together and they were owning the night, shall we say. They thought they were doing...
They thought it was their night.
They thought it was their night, and it was an open mic on the stage who wasn't doing a great job. Not somebody that strives to be comedy. Somebody likes to go up and have a shot. And the whole night was like, oh my gosh. And I just remember looking through the crack of the door, and there would have been a stage. I would have been nervous about that. I just looked through the crack of the door and went, enjoy your moment, boys. It's going to end in a minute.
Yeah.
And I meant that full-heartedly. I have no qualms about walking in and whipping them into shape. And I don't know where it comes from.
I was going to say, do you think that comes from being like a mum now? And
I don't know. I'm just... I don't know.
Just thick-skinned and just
assertive.
bossy.
I'm just assertive.
Yeah, it's assertive.
I know.
One night with Jamie. Jeez.
Like,
What do your kids think about you doing comedy though? Do they love it?
They love it.
Because obviously
They
your
love
daughter
it.
wants to now get into comedy.
Yeah, and there's a lot of... She wants to be an actor, a person that works with animals, a hairdresser, and maybe a comedian.
Yeah, you can do, I mean, you can do all. You do two of them.
But yeah, no, the kids do actually like that I do comedy. I'm considering running children's holiday camps for performing.
Ace.
Yeah,
because also, do you know what? Speaking in front of a mic, public speaking,
What skill?
all of these things are important to learn.
Too. Yeah.
And they are needed at some point, whether you have to speak at your friend's wedding, funeral.
Or a presentation at school.
Yes.
That
So
little thing.
building up that confidence. And kids are hilarious.
They're so funny.
Actually hilarious.
It's actually annoying.
I helped at something recently, and I won't give names away, and I just said to him, do you want to stay in your shoes, please, and come away from the road? And the kid looked at us and he went, who the fuck's she? And I thought, I quite liked it. I was like, good for you, love.
You're like, I can't come back to that.
I just looked at him and I went, I am the lady that doesn't want to call your mum and tell her you were flattened on the road, mate. All right. And I'll pretend I didn't hear that. And I could see him thinking, oh, she didn't grass me up there. And now he told his mum, I really like Naomi's mum. I like her. You know,
It's because you gave him a little bit back instead of trembling and going.
Yeah. Or I didn't go, excuse me, I'm going to tell teacher you swore. You know, because really, you know. But I think he kind of breathed the F word instead of saying it. And it was my friend. She had a situation recently. She let her daughter watch Good Girls, which isn't that adult, but there was
the Netflix show.
Yeah, her daughter's older. She's nearly 12, and there was a scene in Good Girls where the red-haired lady says, "You didn't have to stick your penis in the secretary," and her mum thought, "Oh no, here comes the questions." And her daughter went, "Mum, what's a secretary?"
I know exactly what penis is.
My kids are so funny. I have so much humor from parenting. And I don't think it's only humor that only parents can relate to.
No.
Yeah.
I'd like to think it's not.
No.
Well, no, because I think that story was quite funny. I don't have kids, so.
Well, you were a kid, you know.
Yeah,
and I feel like
exactly,
some of the
so
stories
true.
are funny, like, as you can think.
Shannon's 13.
Plus 85.
Yeah. In my head, you're 13 though. You guys are like so young, and it's just like, it's funny. I do that thing now where I had the police at my door recently. Don't ask. Well, I'll tell you if I don't care. I had the police at my door, and it was for the stupidest reason, and they couldn't do anything about what they came to my door. There was a situation at school. My son didn't react well. A kid threw a bucket of slime over him. My son didn't react well. He punched the kid in the head. The poor kid did have a big egg. I parented this. Bradley was in a lot of trouble. Now,
There's a
that
scale.
was fine, and I apologised to the mum and the child, and it was awful. Now, I understand for some reason, somewhere along the way, that didn't seem to be enough, so the police were called. Now, again, I've drawn a line. I'm not angry at the mum.
Yeah.
It's just a situation that's gone out of hand.
Yeah.
The kids didn't care by Tuesday.
No.
The mothers in this situation seem to have made it worse. Anyway, so unexpectedly, the police arrived at my door on a Monday morning after all this drama of the weekend, because nobody wants to think their child's a thug or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can see why he reacted, but it was the wrong thing
Wrong
to
move,
do.
yeah.
But he's 11. So, and you're like, I would have done the same.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, I didn't like to
You
say that.
always
'cause
say
I-
that,
Fuck around. In fact, I get
could
now.
find out.
Exactly.
It was too far, though. I do agree it was too far.
Yeah, for sure.
It has
For
to,
sure.
the punishment has to suit the crime.
You never know how you're going to react to
No,
situations.
he's
At
a
any
fiery
age.
kind of soul. He
Yeah.
doesn't start trouble, but he does
He'll finish it.
retaliate. He finishes it. My gosh, he finishes it.
So that's what I'm saying. If somebody threw a
Taylor
bucket of
Swift
slime
line,
over
I don't
you,
start, yeah.
immediately
It was reaction rate.
It's
Now,
reaction
we have a
rate.
no slime,
policy in our house. Can you imagine?
policy because it just ruins things. So
Yeah.
in my head, my poor kid thought his bike and his clothes were ruined,
Yeah.
but it still didn't suit the crime, and the poor kid was
Yeah,
injured.
fair enough.
Anyway,
Fair enough.
he just he didn't know how strong he was.
Below the neck. That's what we say. In
You
the
know.
body. Don't, and not in the face.
Jamie's going around in her car playing Whitney Houston, I didn't know my own strength. And I'm like, this is a lesson.
Yeah, he did. We were showing him footage of one punch killers and all
Yeah.
sorts.
Yeah,
the poor
okay.
kid was terrified.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like,
So he got it. They took it too
Yeah.
far. And however, Monday morning, the police at my door, and they looked like they were 12.
Mm.
There was one police officer who's trying to be like, look, he's 11. There's nothing we can do, but we have to come along. And I'm like, no. I called you because we had a break-in into my car. I called you because our garage got broken into before. Never once did you appear.
You can come for this.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
But the other one's like, it's nonsense. I didn't know why we're here. And the other
Fuck.
guy's like trying to look at him going,
The other guy's like, it's a slow Monday stop. We said we'd come out.
yeah, and I was in the dressing gown, simultaneously burning my mints. It was just, I
Like,
cried.
you're actually
What did
cooking
I
for
do
Dawn
on the
French.
doorstep? I cried. So I'm pretty sure all my neighbours thought somebody died. And I was so
Jesus.
flippant
To be fair, that's
dramatic
not that
because
bad.
I was frustrated.
Yeah.
You know?
Were you like, do you mind? I'm cooking my mince for Dawn French. I'd like to go back inside.
exactly. My bolognese. I would have made a lovely lasagna
Oh, there
and
you
a
go.
tiramisu and a bruschetta because I make these things so well. So that was my,
Tiramisu, lovely.
yeah.
I love
That Bailey's
bruschetta.
tiramisu is lovely. So
Too much dairy for me, Paul. But
I know. Well, I'm no good at dairy, but
I know.
that's so good.
You still have
you'll
it.
shit your pants for that.
Well, no, that's not what would
You take
happen.
tablets
Nope.
as well.
I
Can you?
sneeze.
You're a sneezer?
Yeah, I'm a sneezer if I have too much dairy.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's weird.
That is.
No, I know,
So
and I've been
random.
tested. Apparently, I'm not allergic to anything, but I sneeze like mad. Dairy, Indian food, Chinese food, gravy,
Great.
Gravy.
coffee.
Oh, wow.
There's loads, chocolate, and I sneeze and
sneeze at them
sneeze
all?
and really loud as well. It's really, really disturbing. I get 3 blashes from Alan before he loses it, and he's like, "Shut your face."
Oh
It's like
my
enough, die quietly.
gosh.
You know?
How are you consuming this food? Maybe it is.
She's snorting
He's
it.
snorting this. This is not. This is not 90s
Whole
Colombia.
lines of gravy granules.
Chopping a Vienna.
Yeah. Bisto.
Bestow,
They were to drugs, but the Bisto was fine.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Nice.
yeah,
God, kids are fuckers, man.
It's hilarious.
I love kids. Oh, anyway, what I meant was, like, what I mean is, like,
they're funny.
they're
They're
mega funny.
so
yeah.
funny, and I would like to aim forward in the future of being able to do a family-friendly comedy set.
Yeah.
But part of my comedy is venting away from my home life, is venting
Yeah.
from being a mum.
Mm.
And I want to, I kind of feel like I would still slip up and swear or
Right.
vent something or say something inappropriate. And I don't want to do that in front of kids, you know?
No, I
So-
never told. I might have told you this story. So I got a phone call 4:00 from said promoter. Can you be at one of the town halls in Aberdeenshire? I said, what time? 6:00. Me, I says, oh, what's the fee? Told me the fee, and I was like, okay. He said, do you have a rider? And I was like, yeah, I need green tea and some M&Ms. Not too much.
Green tea and what?
M&Ms. I love M&Ms.
Peanut or regular?
Peanut.
I love a peanut M&M.
Obviously, couldn't get peanut because there could have been an allergy.
Of course, yeah. you
Okay,
can't
I was
get
like,
it.
just green tea. Because I like to put a bit of honey in it, just my throat, blah, blah, blah. So,
I love a cup of tea at a
I
gig.
love a wee cup of tea.
Peppermint tea at a gig's amazing.
Peppermint tea,
Yeah.
fantastic. Good. For another reason, I'll tell you later on. But so I was, Graham Mackey, he was hosting.
Mhm.
Ross Leslie, I think he was the headliner. I was just the opening act.
Which village?
Inverurie.
Okay.
Inverurie Town Hall. So,
It's a big
Arch.
venue.
it was a big venue.
Mhm.
It was pretty big. Lots of people in there. I could hear them all come through, but I was in the back. You parked in the back of the Inverurie Town Hall, and nobody was there. Graham wasn't there. Ross wasn't there. Everybody was running a wee bit late. Graham does turn up.
Mm.
not late, but he was, there's no sound check, you can do a sound check. So he got on stage, he says, what's your name again, son? I said, Sean, Greg. Oh, great. So I'll go on, I'll do 15, then I'll come, you can come on, do your 15, we break, I'll do maybe 5 minutes, we break, then I'll do another 15, then Ross will come on. Great, happy days. So I'm sitting there, got my headphones in, running through my set in my head. I might do this, might do that. I don't know, man. Actually, I'll just do my solid 15. I've got a set that I know just works. I'll just do that. Don't try anything tonight. And then looked at my watch. Great. Should be on in about 2 minutes. Next thing I know, guys, can you welcome a local comedian, Sean Melvin Gregg. And you've been on stage before. Look, I don't know if you've been on. Have you been on a stage?
Not a high one.
So on a high stage, you can't see nothing because the light is just here, and the audience is a little bit set back,
which I don't like.
I like to see some faces, not all faces, but I like to see the faces and stuff and see the reaction. I can feel a bit of energy. So I got on stage. Now you've seen like most of my sets, a lot of my material and stuff, and there was a whole bit that I used to weave around about being Brown Sean through Meet My Wife and some of the sexual acts I wanted to do with my wife, and just couldn't put. And there's a song in there. The whole bit was about Adele, and there's a song. She must have gave you things I didn't give to you. And I had looked at my wife and I said, "Oh, well, it must have been anal." And I'll get a wee giggle. That's usually the little step up. Nothing.
Oh,
One
no.
dad. You know the dad laugh. You know. I was like, So I thought, oh well. Just keep loading the gun, I'm going to have another one.
Joke, yeah.
So then I built it up and I was like, and then my brain, the whole part of the premise was my brain would talk to myself and say, you should maybe ask her now. I turned to Amy and she says, well, maybe you should try it first. But I cast it back to an earlier joke and it was about double daring. Amy then came back to me and says, I'll double dare you. Now, usually, that it's a good joke and it runs on to the next piece. Nothing. Same dad.
Was it your dad?
Well, I don't know my dad. That's kind of awkward. No, I'm sorry. I got you. I was like, lights, man. I says, you put on the main lights. Just so I can see some of you. I can't see you guys. I'm trying to like win them back here. Rows and rows of kids and mums and dads. I was like, and then I heard one of them, like, woman said, why would you say this in front of children? And I was like, hey, it's Uncle Shorty.
Everyone's favorite uncle.
Good night.
Oh.
And left. And I didn't get, obviously the promoter didn't get paid from me, so I didn't get paid. But I didn't know this was a live Aberdeenshire gig, so it was no alcohol. It was like fruit shoots and everything. And to this day,
why were you not told?
It's just bad promotion, yeah.
Oh my word.
Honestly,
That's a parent, right? I wouldn't.
Worst nightmare,
and a massive overthinker. I wouldn't forgive myself for saying that in front of the kids.
Oh, I forgive myself straight away.
and as you should, because you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, because you didn't know.
I would honestly, that would have freaked me out completely.
Those parents had some
and this is why I
conversations.
organise gigs, because I need all the info. And like, I just
All
need
the
to be in
details.
control. And I would have felt so out of control in that situation. Now, genuinely, my heart's like racing for you.
I
can't
loved
imagine.
I loved sitting in that pocket park.
Imagine the conversations back in the car. Or Adele comes on the radio and the parents are like, no!
Dad's sitting there going, okay, maybe ask for the...
What's anal?
What's for the anal? So I'd actually gone out the stage and went round the back, and I was wanting to see the main act, etc. So I thought, I'm going to get a juice and stuff. One of the dads was like, I thought you were hilarious, mate.
Oh,
You got
brilliant.
that.
And I was like, oh, thanks. He's like, wrong fucking crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a shame.
What are we going to do?
I know.
But yeah, I phoned Sheppy straight away,
Brilliant.
and he was like, he couldn't stop laughing down the phone. And he was like, I would
I've never heard that story.
Have you
That's
not?
no.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard that story.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I've said this before, but see when you bomb and you're like, I know I'm bombing, but as soon as you start feeling, you're like, hold on a second.
Someone's not right.
Someone's not right.
These are the gigs you learn stuff at.
I learned so much from that gig.
You learn to find out in
you can't
advance.
just stroll through the mall, you know.
No way. And you don't want to either.
No.
But I mean,
oh my god. I just like I've got like secondhand
And trauma, yeah.
trauma. Oh.
I loved it. The only time I hated bombing, and the only time I bombed. In fact, the only gig that I thought went well that Amy was at was actually the one that you had organised with Kyle.
Oh yeah, in Aberdeen, in Squash Club.
Yeah, so Amy came along with that, actually. I think my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law was there as well. And I think it was the first time my brother-in-law had actually clocked me and was like, I did not know that you said these things. I was like, what? He'd only been in the relationship for like a couple of months. Yeah. And then he's now like 4 years in the line. He's like, you say this stuff all the time.
This is not new.
No, far from it. Far from it.
Oh my God.
Worst bomb? What was your worst bomb?
Yeah. Okay, so one of my worst situation, I didn't even bomb to start with, was my third gig at the comedy club. And now, in hindsight, I would never have allowed this to have happened as a promoter or as an MC or anything. I was nervous and I was sinking gin after gin, and I genuinely had about 30.
30 gins?
I'm pretty sure. Singles. And it wasn't that club, so maybe they were a little bit watery, but...
15 doubles, though.
Yeah. So I was in noticed, but I also had about 40 people in the audience, which was really unusual for this open mic on a Sunday night.
So you brought 40 people? I did,
because I'm really good at promotion.
You are fantastic at it.
I just got smashed, and I was told to do a 7 to 10. I added that together, did a 17. They played the countdown music to get me up, and then I just argued that I wasn't coming off yet.
Oh,
I was on a rampage. But you know what I was? I wasn't boring. But I have watched it back more recently.
Did you record it?
I did. And I had people say,
movie night.
Not only did I record it, I posted it online. What the hell? So I still obviously might have been drunk for a couple of days when I did that.
But were your crowd laughing?
Yeah, people were laughing. For the right reasons, I'm sure. And some of the stuff was funny, but I was so pissed. And there's a point where I pretend to check my watch and spill my drink down, and somebody said, "Your drunk act is hilarious." I loved it, and I remember thinking,
they thought you were just put on.
Yeah, they thought I put it on.
To be fair, I mean, that's a win. If they thought that was an acting.
What a fantastic acting. Yeah. Like, I would blackout drunk.
Like, actually,
but I still, like, the people there, the host, the organizer, they could see that I was, and they kept moving me to later and later, almost like, I feel maybe like setting me up for a fail. I've only been drunk twice on stage. There was that time, and there was a charity fundraiser that we did. For cystic fibrosis.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it should be. And that was a really emotionally charged evening.
Oh, I bet.
And I was finding it challenging, and things had gone wrong leading up to the event. And I drank that night on an empty tummy as well. And I've never done it again, twice in my whole career.
I think that's pretty good.
No, that was terrible. And I don't forgive myself for them. I can't let it go. I just can't let it go.
I know, but to be fair, you should forgive yourself, because the people around you should.
No, but if I feel like if I don't forgive myself, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So okay, fair. So you're trying to
that's just how I do it. You know?
Okay.
Whereas there was people who will never mention it, or they'll just go, "I remember that time you were pissed." And went, "Oh my god, cringe."
Yeah.
I'd like to think I've done so many more that weren't that. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's always the worst ones that sit in your head. I never remember any good gigs.
There was another gig I did, but the venue wouldn't let me set it up as I wanted to. And it was, like you said, a stage, a massive gap. Yeah. They wouldn't close the doors. People were too far away. I can't hear. Well, come and sit here. I don't want to move. Well, flipping shut up then. And it didn't go down so well because I wasn't assertive enough, and I've never not.
So you learned something from it.
Yeah, you do. You do. You can't glide through. I glide through, not glide, I'm not very complacent, but the squash club gigs generally go well. Yeah. The audience are amazing. I remember someone saying, "Oh, I've heard you just have a lot of the same people back in the audience." Never have I ever heard anyone talk about return clientele as a bad thing.
Yeah, that's such a strange thing to say.
Yeah, it's such a strange thing to say. Well, that's fine, but don't you have more than one set? Okay, no. Yeah. But I just feel... people see Rockhopper, they see Squash Club, and they go, "Oh my gosh, we'll go to that. They're always so good." Because it's always different. It's always, and we've a Project Pizza coming back again for the next one, which I love. So Project Pizza.
Yeah, he's really good.
So it's really good. Yeah, it's going to be excellent.
So is the next one at? Where's the next?
Next confirmed one is at the Squash Club on the last Saturday of September. I think that's the 28th. It's for Childline, which I believe Wet 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 did have a charity single for Childline. I wonder if I could get scoop that back in.
Yeah, you could get it right
Hey,
back.
Marty, mate.
You could maybe. I mean, what I heard earlier on this podcast is it used to do a bit of music. Maybe you could work this song into your set, Jamie.
Who used to do music?
You.
No, I did musical theatre, but did you hear my voice?
Yeah,
I don't
Sean's
sing.
like whatever. Yeah, that'll
What
do.
could you do when I sang out a tune? See, I do sing
Yeah,
actually.
there you go. Yeah.
That was what there was for Childline back in
Is
the day.
that Wet song?
Well, it was the Beatles originally,
Ah,
and they
I thought so.
released it in '86 to
Huh?
raise money for Childline, and now I'm raising money for Childline. See, I'm meant to marry Marty
Yeah,
Pello.
just an invisible string to Marty.
Marty Pello, man.
We've been pulled up for Wet 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 before, so I'm really glad you didn't get that wrong.
Have
When
we?
you said that they sang the Love Actually theme song, we got told that was a cover.
It is a cover, yeah. It was a
So
cover.
we got massively.
You mean,
our first episode,
yeah, Love Is All Around.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was like Trogs or somebody else. That's
Yeah.
probably wrong, but it's some quite minor hit the first time.
Yeah.
And it was huge for them. It was number one for like, I don't know, 15 weeks or something ridiculous.
I think
So our whole podcast has been leading to this Wet 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 episode.
Just,
we actually brought you on because we hear you Wet, mega fan.
oh no, I just
Marty
maybe not
Pello.
mega fan. My friend Lee is totally a mega fan.
Is there 3
I'm
people
a
in?
medium. No, there used to be 4, but Marty's left Wet 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 and he's doing
Oh.
solo. And now they've got some dude from, what was that band? Liberty X or something.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, Kevin.
Is it Kevin?
Yeah, he was on The Voice as well.
Yes. So
Yeah.
he,
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe he's the lead vocalist of Wet 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 now.
So why is it Wet then? There's only 4 of them. Should not be wet. No, it's
I don't
Wet times 4.
Wet times 4.
One's ugly, so you don't get wet for him. You know, like.
Fair.
In fact, only one was hot, to be honest.
Oh,
So
really?
it should have just been wet.
So you were just wet all the time, constantly for this guy.
Marty
Fair.
Pello, man, he was just
Yeah,
such.
so-
But even the men loved Marty Pello back in the
Oh,
day. He was
really?
a style
like
icon.
people want to be him.
It's just such an
Men.
80s vibe as well. He just had that spiky hair and cheeky smile.
What was that? What was the 80s singer that guys fancied but turned out to be a guy?
Sorry.
So it could have been some of the sort of soft rocky type people because there was a whole band, Whitesnake or somebody, where they all looked very
Whitesnake.
feminine.
Yeah. No.
But there was also it's not Dead or Alive, is it?
No. God, no, I'm trying to think who it was. I forget. This is where my brain goes. Oh, it's just-
You just
Why
Down
have you got
rabbit
brain
holes.
fog?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, just ADHD.
Okay.
It's not got brain fog. It's just I don't know things. I don't care to
blame
remember.
my hormones and my age on brain fog, but
could be
it's not
ADHD.
you.
No.
So I know.
So, like,
you're not the first person to tell me. So multiple people, including professionals, have like, have you thought about ADHD? And I'm like, I'm just flaky because I'm at that age where I don't like to jump on any sort of band.
Yeah.
I'm too stubborn. I'm like,
You're like,
I do
no,
not have ADHD.
Yeah.
I'm just easily distracted, like my report card say.
Yes, I'm easily distracted at all times.
Yeah.
Leave cupboard doors open. Honestly, they're like in every TikTok now seems to be that. It's like my phone's listening to me,
I know, it's so annoying.
and I just like shut your face.
Yeah.
You know.
Something's pointing
Nah,
in
la,
like,
la, la.
anything I'm really interested in
Most
to know.
Canadians are
What?
ADHD.
Are they?
Yeah.
A lot.
Probably. I
Well,
would say
all the
so.
ones I speak to.
Yeah, I think we've all got the
But then
touch
now,
of the-
I'm starting to feel like so many people have it. Are non-ADHD people?
Mhm.
Are they the minority?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Should they have the label, not us?
Not the ADHD. Yeah.
I like labels. The label
I
maker.
don't.
Do you know?
No,
Oh, I love it.
I never want to sort of pigeonhole myself anywhere. You know,
It's cozy in there though.
I don't know.
No.
I think
Yeah, free bird.
I don't know. Apparently, Northern Bimbo.
Northern Bimbo.
Would you say that's something people would be surprised to learn about you? Is you don't want to be labelled?
I do. Yeah, I don't want to be labelled.
or
Yeah,
pigeonholed.
I'm just stubborn. I don't know.
You like to label yourself and pigeonhole yourself, or no?
I don't.
Or you hate to be told it.
Like. Yeah, I just don't like people to tell me what to do. I don't know.
That's a common trait with ADHD.
I don't like. I get.
I think that's just
overwhelming.
fiery. Like,
Yeah.
I find it overwhelming.
Don't
You know.
tell. Yeah, I get you. Me and my
And
wife.
then I just have to have a nap. You know.
Oh,
it's all just too much. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm a napper.
I'm a napper.
I like a 2:00 nap.
Mm-hmm.
Boss
I
doesn't
love
like
a
it.
2:00 nap. So I've got my
Another common thing with ADHD. Imagine that.
look. Did my therapist phone you? The nap thing.
Yeah.
I have phone 10 to 3 because I have to pick the kids up at school at 3, and I try and finish for a break about 2 so I can squish in a
Are we
little
now?
nap.
Disco nap.
But sometimes I have to text the other mum going, keep my child home because I've just woken up.
sleeping inside. Did she do that
Years
in
like
Aberdeen? Yeah. Yeah. What does she do for a job? She works in the garage. Why is her hair all fuck?
So as we wrap up this podcast, where can people go to learn more about you?
Where could people go?
Where
So,
can they find you?
in regards to comedy, social media, Rockhopper Comedy is on Facebook and Instagram, I believe. And I don't really do anything on TikTok with comedy, not yet. I'll maybe wait till my kids are a bit bigger and they can run that for me.
Nice.
I did for a short while, and then I couldn't find my footing with it at all.
Shannon does all our stuff like that.
Yeah, I joined it because my son wanted it, and I wanted to keep an eye on him and his stuff. So, and then I don't like weirdos. I felt there was a few on there. But yeah, so Instagram and Facebook. Facebook, I'm of that era.
Yeah.
You will find the Canva flyers.
Yes, but actually I do physical posters around the area as well. I remember it was raining and I was soaking wet and I had a poster and I was all curly haired on the poster and I handed it into the wee shop on Broomhill Road and I was like, you put my poster up, like, oh, Comedy East, thank you, yeah. She goes, do you go to it yourself? And I went, yeah, I'm on the poster. And she goes, par.
No. Is that the co-op on
No, but I do the co-op as well.
That's so
Often in
funny.
Manor Field.
Where are you on the poster?
Where? No, literally looked at that a couple times, Where? Catfishing.
Comedy catfishing.
Comedy catfishing.
And then what can people expect from you next? We did mention obviously the Childline fundraiser.
So what can people I expect from me next? So I'm happy. I would like to continue doing my sort of monthly gigs, and our next one that we have, which is 100% organised, is the Rockhopper Comedy at the Squash Club with the Project Pizza. We haven't done one by then it'll be almost a year. Yeah. So, which I can hardly believe. That's been a quick year in some ways and other ways not. And we're raising money for Childline. My lovely neighbour, Carrie, is walking the Great Wall of China. I don't suppose all of it. But she's doing an array of fundraising for Childline. She volunteers for Childline.
Oh, wow.
And she's doing like I say, that big epic walk. They have other events that they're going to be doing as well, which I will be posting on my social media. And yeah, so we hope to raise lots of money. Tickets for that are already flying, to be honest.
I'd say if people go on Rockhopper, can they get the tickets from that link?
Yeah, it's Eventbrite that the tickets are on, and I've yet to finalise the lineup. I haven't done that yet, just like one thing at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just like to plan it out, get all my names, and then pick complimentary kind of acts that are different from each other. Yep. So that's my next definite, but there's other things in the pipeline.
Okay. And what date was that again?
28th of September.
Boost.
September. If I said October, which I may have.
No, you haven't. You said
it's definitely September. Yeah.
September. Because I am every single post I do, anytime it's a number, I get it wrong. And I get Stuart Leon, who's a wonderful support to Rockhopper, texting me going, do you want to go and check your dates again? Because that's not the date I've got written down. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Because you're organising everything. And then finally, before we let you go, what is one final thought that you want to leave our listeners with?
Please support live comedy in Aberdeen and Shire. I see all these friends going to the huge gigs at the exhibition centres. Wonderful. I mean, I'm not saying that's not great. That is great. But you will equally have an amazing time in the grassroots comedy gigs, the comedy nights where you're near somebody, where something might go wrong, where you've got a weirdo heckler, where you've got somebody losing their mind on the stage. Those comedy nights, you've got to support them. And I don't care where they're at, just support live comedy in Aberdeen, because there's great venues, there's great nights, and we do put our heart and soul. Aberdeen has this environment that if we all get together and nurture it and keep building it, it's going to be amazing. Like, it's going to be so good. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And at the moment, it's just a wee bit disjointed, and folk need to recognise that actually we could have a really good night of comedy. And there's excellent acts coming from all over Scotland and beyond to come and perform up here. at all the venues and just support it. You know, if you want a good night out, it's not even expensive, you know.
And your tickets are always pretty reasonable.
Yeah, they're reasonable, and
More than
you do get.
reasonable,
And I put a lot of effort into the night. You know,
fun.
it is fun. Thank you. I do enjoy what we do. I do. Somebody said it was a posh comedy night. It's not posh. It's not posh because I have alcohol in a glass. That should be normal. It's
Normalise alcohol in a glass.
Bring a can if that makes you feel better, right?
You know, somebody did say it's such a posh comedy or it's such a nice comedy night. It's not, but we do. I like lovely venues with electricity and we like candles on the table, and I like a bougie touch. What can I say?
Yeah.
So if you bring a tin, it's going to the bin. But no, just come on down. I'm joking.
Didn't give me a mug of wine or a plastic cup. Don't give me a plastic. You know, like a disposable cup.
Oh yeah.
I just know
Sustainability as well. You know.
Of course.
You know, if I'm going to have 2 drinks, my 2-drink blunder, I want them in a bonny glass.
Yeah.
Nice goblet.
A nice goblet. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much for having us.
All right.
Thank you.
Token one for the team with Shannon and Sean talking about life and everything in between. The token ones see it differently. Yeah, token one for the team. This is Shannon and Sean keeping things light. The token ones in the group. That's right. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.